now live from his home base in Las Vegas. To discuss the boxing business landscape in this moment of new circumstances is Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports, one of the most experienced veterans in the ringside press corps. Kevin, welcome to the Fight Game.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
I'm good. Let's begin with Floyd Mayweather's jump from this network to Showtime. What do you see as the effect of that on the two premium pay cable networks and their increasingly heated competition for boxing product?
Well, Jim, I think it's a great deal for Floyd Mayweather to start with. There's very little risk for him. He's doing nothing different. He's just going to have his promotion be on Showtime as opposed to on HBO. So for him, it's a very big win situation. I think the risk really lies for Showtime. This could be a grand slam home run for Showtime, or it could be a big problem for them depending on how the fight goes. They are certainly relying on Mayweather to not only deliver a very large pay-per-view number each time out, but they're also hoping that he will be some sort of magnet to attract other fighters over to Showtime. Somebody like Adrian Broner. Broner's with Golden Boy, and they're hopeful now that they could bring Broner over there after his HBO contract is up. From HBO standpoint, certainly this puts a lot of pressure on them because HBO really now has to work very closely with Bob Arum. And you know yourself how the rocky relationship with Bob Arum and HBO has been over the years. Sometimes he loves him, sometimes he hates him, and it's been a very rocky relationship. So I think there's risk for both sides in this. From Showtime's standpoint, it was a very calculated risk. You're going to hurt your biggest rival, and you're going to bring the biggest star into the sport, but you're paying him a ton of money, and there's no guarantee that you're going to be able to recoup all that.
Kevin, Mayweather's pay-per-view appearances won't necessarily sell subscriptions. That's why Showtime hopes that he attracts other fighters. Canelo Alvarez, on the other hand, plans to fight on the cable network in a fight which seems highly competitive. Given that Alvarez is only 22 years old and already has a large following, is it possible he can be an even bigger asset to their boxing programming than Floyd?
Well, certainly, if you're appearing on their network, you're going to sell subscriptions to Showtime. That's what they want. You know, a lot of people misunderstand when they look at pay cable, HBO, and Showtime, and they think that people are looking to get ratings. What they really want is the people to subscribe to it for that year so you have the programming. And if having Canelo Alvarez on one of the networks makes you subscribe to that network, that's a win for them. And so if Canelo can continue to fight big, meaningful fights on Showtime rather than on Showtime pay-per-view, that is definitely in their best interest, and I think that that's the way they would love to see it go. But I think Canelo has visions of being the successor to Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, and I think that there's a reasonable chance he might, along with Julio Cesar Chavez, if he ever gets his problems worked out, become a big pay-per-view star. So I think that that's the way he's looking. So, you know, will that help Showtime a lot, having Canelo on pay-per-view? I don't know that that will.
I have to ask you for a quick answer on this. There's been a logjam between between Golden Boy Promotions and Top Rank Promotions, which is preventing a fair number of attractive fights from taking place. Very quickly, do you see any way that that logjam can be broken?
Not in the short term, Jim. I think that in the long term there is some hope that if you can get cooler heads to prevail, but in the short term there's so much animosity on all sides, bordering on hatred, that I don't see it right now in the short term happening.
All right, thank you very much, Kevin Iole of Yahoo Sports.